There are almost 200 million of them, geometrically aligned, row after perfect row, covering an area larger than Grand Canyon National Park. These are almond trees in California's Central Valley. And when they burst into bloom, 5 trillion blossoms splash the landscape in a dazzling display of pink and white. But when we move closer, we not only see, but also hear something else. The air is filled with the hypnotic drone of buzzing bees, and there are a lot of them. But to understand why they are here, we must first go to a very different place. The November Idaho winter is well below zero, but inside these nondescript sheds, we find something quite remarkable and totally unexpected. Some beekeepers overwinter their hives in these temperature-controlled sheds, avoiding the frigid winter temperatures and helping their bees conserve energy. Silently and carefully, in the warm glow of their infrared headlights, small forklifts maneuver between rows of white boxes, neatly unstacking the thousands of hives. Then, in the dark of night, they are loaded onto semi-trucks to begin their long journey south. After more than 20 hours on the road, the trucks reach their destination, where their precious cargo will soon become the stars of the show. That is the annual California almond bloom. Indeed, it's a massive operation. 5,000 semi-trucks bring almost 2 million colonies to the bee yards dotting the Highway 99 corridor that runs through 400 miles of almonds, from Red Bluff in the north to the Grapevine in the south. From all across the continental United States, Texas to New York, Florida to Montana, Ohio to Idaho, bees are pouring into the Central Valley for the largest pollination event on the planet. Much of the beekeeper's annual income comes from their pollination contracts. So for most, almond bloom is critical, and they quickly begin the laborious task of inspecting and sorting their colonies. But in the late winter, California's wildflowers aren't in bloom. So until the almond trees bloom, there is no pollen or nectar to bring back to the growing hives. So the beekeepers must feed them with syrup to offset this lack of natural forage. Meanwhile, as 100 billion bees adjust to their new surroundings, the almond trees are also undergoing change. Waking from their winter dormancy, tiny green buds erupt from the tips of the branches, signaling that the moment is near. Now the beekeepers kick into high gear. They tackle the complex logistics of allocating hives to their assigned orchards, carefully coordinating with the growers the correct predetermined locations for the hive. By early February, they start to appear, first slowly, then more and more every day, until billions of blossoms explode into life and the hungry bees descend on them. Each bee visits thousands and thousands of flowers a day, collecting nectar and pollen to feed the growing hive, transferring the life-giving pollen blossom to blossom, inadvertently doing our bidding, turning a flower into an almond. From above, the valley now resembles a snowy carpet stretching as far as the eye can see. And within a month, as quickly as they emerged, the last petals fall from the trees and the whole event begins to wind down. And with it, another important moment for the beekeepers. Strong and healthy now from feeding on the protein-rich almond pollen, the colonies are in an ideal state to be split, moving half the bees from a strong hive to a new box and adding a new queen. The beekeepers can increase their colony count and keep their apiary viable. Bees are critical to 75% of the food crops we eat, so no matter where they head next, to apple or blueberry pollination or north to build their honey flow, beekeepers need our help and support so they can continue their vital role in pollinating the world's food supply. BeeHero is proud to support the important work of beekeepers, so when bloom comes again next year, the bees will be ready. After all, the show must go on.